like life. To the day I met you. And it's safe to say I never knew the meaning of life. Till the day I met you. But they say all good things come to an end. They start new beginnings.
I've been diagnosed with cerebral palsy. I was born premature, 2 pounds, 11 ounces. My parents had me when they were 27, 28. They were told by doctors that I would never walk, I'd never talk, I'd never do anything on my own. Basically, I would live in a vegetative state my whole entire life.
It already is.
I don't know who lives there now, but it's crazy, man. This house contains like a lot of my first memories, whether it be life or just music, period. You know, Saturday cleaning sessions. Those type of days sparked the influence of this project. Just the essence of innocence, I guess, if that makes sense. You know, because at the time, like I said, this was home to me. Still, like coming back here, just being on the street. This is a long way from home. This is where it all begins. Darkness of it is what I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
It's like
it's dark, but it's not like
overwhelming.
Yeah, and it's dark with some purity to it, you know?
It's important for me to have a song from my dad's perspective of me being born, just based off of the fact that I do hold him to such a high regard, but there are dark sides to not our relationship, but just his story alone. So like some of the conversations that I would have with him were like, well, why do I always have to go through these things? Or why is there a constant change all the time? I never understood it. There's actually like a line in there where it's like, maybe the things that my son is going through is due to the fault of my karma. So a lot of his relationships were just established off of fear. And he used to be a bully himself. And one of the main people that he would fuck with or be a bully to, he was disabled. The kid was disabled. So he felt like the things that I was going through was at fault because of his choices.
I never knew a love like the one I could call my own. Next. I never let my baby fight alone. And I'll be damned if 37 surgeries ain't enough to keep you planted on the canvas. Count the
What are you feeling?
It's crazy.
It's the last time you've been in here.
It's been 16 years? Almost 18?
What's a story you can remember telling me?
I remember us leaving. I remember us packing up and leaving. All of our stuff was, we used to have our couch in that area. Kitchen.
Puedes pasar.
The cabinets look the same, dog. It's crazy.
Sí, son los mismos.
It's crazy, bro. While we've been working on this album, we've been documenting, you know, the process and what it's been like for me throughout this journey. Every detail matters, and just even you taking the time to listen, be here with me, that means the world. And I'm thankful not only for y'all, but I'm thankful to God for the gift first and foremost. So Thank you guys. This is the Long Way From Home album.
Boy is a phenom, passing niggas by eons, wait to the world each somewhere in no-two. Grandmama said I was meant to shine.
Full meaning at this point.
Somewhere in no-two.
Here we go.
Like, with everything that just happened, it's like I'm talking about my grandma, but then you think about it, it's crazy. Just timing. Timing is weird. Timing is weird, bro. Weird but bittersweet. 11 in, and it doesn't even seem like it was like just yesterday.
Oh yeah, I would definitely say like early summer.
Yeah.
Like early summer type vibes, for sure.
I think it was like maybe June, July.
Granny died and I'm uplifted by her spirit. The death is apparent. That shit is real when I hear it. Back to myself and don't know yet.
I mean, the reason why Somewhere in '02 is important is because Somewhere in '02 was my first perspective or my first glance of death and grief.
I was 6 years old when my grandma passed back in 2003 of October. And she was very detrimental to my life in such a short time, just with her belief and who I was as a person and what she felt like my purpose was in this life. Believe it or not, she can attest to this, my mother, which I love very dearly and is also a very important piece of this project. But for the longest time, you know, doctors told me I wouldn't speak, wouldn't walk, wouldn't do anything on my own. And so for her hearing my sounds, me making noises, it was a shock to her. And so, you know, she, you know, being a young mother at the time, would get irritated and would say certain things like, you know, I wish this mother shut up, you know what I mean? Y'all wish she, you know? And one day, my grandmother stopped her and was like, don't you ever tell that boy to shut up ever again in his life, because one day he's gonna do great things with his words. I don't know what it is gonna be, but he's gonna change people's lives. And, you know, she was on the money. You know, she was on the money with that deck of cards. So when she told me that story, it made me emotional, but it also gave me perspective. Like, damn, like even before I had my first thought of a purpose or, you know, first understanding of what light is or happiness, like there was somebody that believed in me, and she was that person. So, you know, that's where that Somewhere in '02 comes from.
This when my lost life would affect me the way that it did, but this is the way the cards went. Fuck. Somewhere in '02, your mama said I was meant to shine like hope, though she wasn't around. But I know she knew it all.
My mom was like, after that moment, I swear to God, you never shut the fuck up. But like, I couldn't say anything because I knew how important it was for you to speak and how like the odds were stacked against you to not do that. So it's like anytime you do speak now, you hold people's attention. You know, you can hold a room with your voice.
This stuff is still the same.
Uh-huh.
Stove is still the same. Has that
No,
changed?
not the stove, but they open.
Yeah, the other.
Yeah, I ain't so old.
Nostalgia is important just from a standpoint of like, I don't think people understood what the fuck I had to go through as a kid. Half the time I was like putting up a fight with people, other kids. I was always getting fucked with. I was always getting bullied just because I looked different. I walk different, talk different. So it was just like a hard battle of like, what is so different about me compared to everyone else? Like, I'm just a kid. Like, so what, I have a walker, so what? Like, I'm having to maneuver my school bags and school equipment a different way. Like, I'm still at school. Like, I'm trying to like enjoy my childhood. I'm thinking shit's cool. You know, I grab my walker. Like, I used to grab my walker and I would like push myself up and like roll. And that was a real thing. Like, I would just run full speed, jump on that bitch and just roll. And those are just fond memories of me just being me. Like, even if like I got hurt.
This is where we used to Did they block off the alleyway? When we used to have a trampoline right here, and we used to like get on top of the shed. We used to get on top of the shed and jump off the shed onto the trampoline. And then one time my brother was talking shit to my dad. So fucking they stripped that fool naked and throw him outside.
We got pops with stripped down to his underwear and throw him outside and lock the door.
That's real.
For real. He would be talking shit, and your deal would be like, all right, go to see you chingando. And he'd be like, oh man, you can't catch me. No. Pause and catch him. Take all his clothes off except for his pantaloons. Push him out the door, shut the door, and lock it. And he'd be running down the street. Ah! We'd be laughing our ass. There's a video somewhere.
You have to send that to me.
There's a video somewhere of Day running up standing in his underwear.
So
This is wild.
¿Se ya no vive?
This is so crazy. What?
How long ago did your father pass away?
My dad passed away when he was 48. So this was 2018, 6 years ago, January 15th. He was involved in a motorcycle accident, non-contact with another passenger, just got taken out by the road. And he was in ICU for 8 days, from January 7th to the 15th.
And we had conversations, you know, before he passed, unfortunately. And he kind of shared with me, you know, certain shit that he felt that he was responsible for. But I would always, you know, tell him, like, you know, at the end of the day, I am who I am. I wouldn't change that. And it made me a better person, made me a better man, made me a better lover, made me a better friend. So, you know, I just kind of took his words and what he was feeling at the time, which was a lot of guilt, and kind of flipped it and made it my own. Just seeing the wooding, like the cabinets, the stove, like everything's still the same. It's just crazy. I wish we would have never moved, honestly. But I mean, unfortunately, unfortunate things happen. You know, when they broke in and took everything from us, and there was a lot of shit going on in the neighborhood at that time, and it just wasn't safe. And my dad was like, you know, we got to get out the hood. So we lived in a house on South Side, and this house is like responsible for the smallest details of somebody's character, and that got taken away from us. The security, the feeling of like having everything lost. You know, they broke into my childhood home, and basically just took everything that we had, or just if not took it, they damaged it in some sort of way.
As soon as I heard that shit, I caught a feeling, bro. It was like, it was the space. The vocals are eerie but uplifting at the same time.
This is ignorant, literally.
Yeah, he if it says clipping, he don't care.
That bitch is,
Pause that real quick and elaborate on that a little bit.
yeah, that bitch be clipping, dog. Straight up. That bitch be clipping, dog. Like,
Talk to us a little bit about that.
all I do is shit. I find the right key for that hoe. Even if it's not, I make it sound like it's in the right key, cause you ain't gonna tell that bitch is blaring, dog. I sent Cush a beat. Sent Cush a beat. That nigga said, he said, but the 808 was hitting so hard, I almost busted my speakers. There's nothing he's never heard, and it's just, I appreciate him, bro. I appreciate the opportunity, I appreciate the trust, I appreciate the guidance, I appreciate the advice, you know what I'm saying? Our relationship's so much bigger than the music. I can quit producing tomorrow, we'll still be best friends. He can quit rapping tomorrow, we'll still be best friends, you know what I mean? I'm just grateful to have somebody I can do this shit with. And one thing I can say that Jay's always done is walking his own truth, and he's never shied away from it, no matter how stubborn the motherfucker he is. I appreciate him for it, because at the end of the day, I know for a fact that if he gonna stand on something, he tell me he gonna stand on something, he's gonna stand on something. He's always been like that since the day I met him. More than anything, no matter how proud of him, I appreciate him more than anything, because I didn't he didn't have to open that door to let me be a part of that process. He didn't have to take my opinions into consideration because it was his art, it was his painting.
Today I lost you. It all makes sense now. All good things must come to me. Just trying to breathe.
So I mean that joint brings it full circle. You know, in the beginning of the album, you know, it's my dad's perspective of birth of life and seeing life for what it is, as holding a newborn baby. And then it's kind of funny how it's flipped on the other side at the end of like, I'm on his side now, you know, knowing that, you know, his time's coming and I can't do nothing to stop it. But the only thing that I can do is comfort him and love him in a way that he feels you know, most appreciated. And it's funny because I get to that ending and that was the last, wasn't exactly what I told him, but it was kind of the premise of what I had told him before, you know, he had taken his last breath and left this earth, which was like, look, you knew the school shit wasn't for me, just because of what I went through, got fucked with. But you always supported me with this music shit. No matter how crazy or insane I sounded, you still believed in me. So like when it comes to this, like this is my lifeline. This is what I'm holding on to, and I promise, like I'm gonna do what it takes to get it where it needs to, whether I lose my life on it or you know, or not. Me, Stelo, and Cush are in a group chat, and we just kind of send records back and forth to each other. So these people have just been very vital in watering me and allowing me to continue to be me and as creative as possible. They keep my blood pumping. They keep my battery in my back, so to say. Again, without them, you know, there's no project.
That's right.
And he produces it.
Oh, really?
Proud of you, bro. You know, you're a long way from home, long way from, you know, the beginning stages. We talk sometimes about the beginning stages of this whole process and kind of just stumbling into even getting a microphone, a recording and all of that. So to have taken it from that point to the point that you at now, even from the time I met you, you know what I'm saying, definitely been a blessing from my end to be able to just witness it and, you know, praying that we both gonna be able to continue on this journey with all the guys and all the family. Shout out to moms and, you know, everybody, man. Like this definitely love you, bro. Proud of you and can't wait for the next one, for sure.
We spent many nights, you know, up, trying to figure it all out. And so for that, you know, I'm thankful. That's the album, 12 tracks, 12 feelings, 12, you know, different roller coasters, and one featuring my guy, Cush with a C, and various different, you know, great producers. So y'all give it up one more time for these guys. If you're seeing this. When I was born, my parents had me when they were 27, 28. And they felt like because my parents were so young, their literal words were, "Oh, you guys are young. You can try again and have another kid. It's not a problem. Why don't y'all go ahead and just forfeit the child? You're obviously you're too young and unfit. Just give him to the state, and we'll take care of the rest." And both of my parents, of course, rightfully were like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's our kid, you know. We'll take him any way we can get him." And, you know, given that's his circumstance, if that's going to be his life, then that's going to be his life. And we're going to let him, you know, create a life around him and allow him to live to his fullest capabilities. So since day one, it's been a fight. Yo, I don't know what boys is on. Like, I don't know what boys is on.
I told him when he first sent that, I was like, bro, this might be my favorite song that you ever made. Only because not only is it gonna live with me forever in perspective, but it's gonna pass on to my son whenever he go look up his Uncle Jay music and be like, it's a documentary of his life damn near. One day Jay spent the night after his birthday, and he woke up in the morning and Ray rolling here in his wheelchair and Jay putting his braces on in the morning, and he's like, oh, Uncle Jay got legs like me. Just call him legs, you know what I mean? He's like, he's putting his legs on just like me. So I feel like that relationship gives him a sense of comfort where it's a normality for him.
Cerebral palsy for me has been a blessing and a curse. It's a double-edged sword for sure. But I often think about, well, I mean, what the fuck is normal? You know? To me, like, I feel like if you aren't different in some sort of way, then I really can't fuck with you. Like, to me, normal is whack, just because I've accepted who the fuck I am, and I wear who I am proudly, regardless of what anybody has to say, what anybody's looks are, or whatever. Like, I love me for me regardless. Like, even if this shit goes fucking wood, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm doing this shit because I love it, and because music is important to me. It helps me live, it helps me breathe. It's part of the reason why I am breathing. But anybody can take from my story. And when they look at me, there should be no excuse on why you can't do what you love or you can't go chase your dreams. So it's like my ultimate goal with this whole situation is just giving back to kids and giving back to people that maybe once have felt how I felt as a kid. So I say that to say, like, this album is a medication in a way. Like, it's a prescription. So, like, you can take this and digest it and maybe feel a little better just based off of the things that I've been through. So I'm just kind of giving you what I got on a teaspoon, and you take it at the dose you want. That's my ultimate goal. It's just using my story and using my power and turning it into a positive rather than a negative. That's been my whole life. That's been what my father, that's been what my mother has instilled in me. My brothers, sisters, they've never let me feel sorry for myself. Neither should you. Mic drop.
That's perfect.
I'm back on the block that I grew from. Part of my identity, outgrowing the chapters and coming to peace without losing grip onto the finer things. As a boy, am I amazed? I ain't ungrateful. Where would them promises take you? Straight to the promised land, saw everything coming in front of me, even the ugly, I wouldn't pause. Bottled emotions, letting it simmer the season of art. Look who we are.